Hey Mats, you done yet? Hey dipshit, can you even hear me?
What? What? Did you say something?
Asked if you were done, dipshit.
You must be doing better. You're back at your pet names for me. Although, I most prefer Dollboy or Buttercup.
Is the water pressure back yet? I wanted to take a shower before they got back.
A bit of perfume, some nice shade, and a nice dress or slimming pair of slacks would be nice too. But in answer to your question, the leak has been sealed and reinforced. Shouldn't give us any more problems. There's months worth of maintenance that needs to be done on the layer to get it in top shape. It could use with another fusion generator as a backup power source too.
You really think you could turn this into a serious headquarters? Thought you mentioned the damaged mainframes couldn't be replaced.
The basic computer functions of the layer are intact, along with some of the databases. The higher functions, most of which we can't use anyway, need a new DIA-level mainframe replacement.
As long as we can at least use it as a secure shelter, although a long-range radio would be great too.
I'd have to replace the transducer circuits. Probably some more work on the transmitter itself. If I could get some of the transmitters in the region working, I could bounce.
Well, food, water, shelter are the priorities. Communicating between camps and the lair. You can work on that later. I'm off to take a long shower. If you interrupt it, I'll have your balls.
Welcome back, novice.
Welcome home. Sadly, I haven't baked any cookies.
We brought gifts though, Grant Saber, and both pieces for a phantom device, a stealth boy and some hologen gas.
Excellent. That'll leave us only one trip to make.
How is Annabelle doing? I figured not too badly if you still have your skin intact.
Much better, as I told you. Some powerful antibodies. And she's fit for duty. Physically, at least.
And mentally?
That is more difficult to judge. She got plenty of rest. That helped her mental state a bit. More than 2 days now without any alcohol. Needs to be monitored for possible beginning stages of alcoholism. But I think she could handle a straightforward mission. Although, it will be a bit of a walk into the Savage Divide.
Where will we be headed this time?
An intelligence facility. Worked on a number of top-secret projects. Before the war, information both for constructing the Voice of Satan and other potential uses.
I have a safe camp right outside of Huntersville. If we got started in the next hour or so, we could reach it by nightfall.
What about being so close to those damn super mutants?
I have it set up far enough away. They don't seem to like to wander far from the town. Even if one or two, or one of their hounds slipped out, we could definitely take them.
I can also mark out the most efficient path through the mountains to reach Sugar Grove. I ventured there while working with Modus. The robots there might be a bit of a problem, though.
If I can engage them from a distance, we can probably take them out one by one.
That will certainly work for the ones outside, but the quarters become cramped once you are inside the building proper.
I have a stash of pulse grenades. That could slow them down, especially if multiple attack us at once.
Could come with you. I do have experience with...
No, we still need somebody to man the lair and keep working on repairs. And you are the best person for the job. And with that, we have an hour or so before we have to head out again. I'm hitting the showers.
Annabelle is already in there. Who knows? She might need somebody to scrub her back.
Rather than give you a thrill, I do recall several shower stalls in there.
She was correct. There are 3 stalls. Don't you fancy a shower as well?
I just need a good sit. We had some lengthy conversations about things out on the road.
Anything interesting?
The uncertainty of our future, I suppose. What comes with rebuilding civilization. Reflecting on what went wrong while we were sitting down in the vault.
Nothing wrong with that. A great chess player plays the game in their mind within the first few opening moves.
But these aren't pieces on a board. These are human lives.
They become pieces on a board when you introduce any group dynamic. Sides will be taken. Leaders will move their pieces. At best you get to choose what type of game you will try and play.
And of course socioeconomic class came into the discussion. Those with the means versus those with needs. What will be fought over first?
Those with the means only have control if they can keep those means. Purified water could easily be the first thing, but not worth hoarding. A dying population would be no population after all.
Water, food, safe shelter are top priorities, and priorities that need to be available for all.
I agree. A potential working class needs to be healthy to be an effective working class. But there will always be those who refuse to do their share. Either refuse to work or refuse to innovate.
We don't need class in our new society. All the basic means of production shared for all of our benefit. We survive together or we die together.
That is dangerously communist and frankly an idealized society like that has always failed. Eventually, returns to might makes right, and an elite class emerges. Same ends.
If people's needs are met then
They will always want more. They will hoard what they don't need, and will seek to profit from that hoarding. The West businessmen can weather any storm.
So how long will it be before you start hoarding all of your purified water, or anything else you start to produce, controlling market supply and demand?
While I am an unabashed capitalist, I do believe water, food, shelter, and some basic medical care are necessary for a population. I wouldn't necessarily seek to profit much from those. And if I might interrupt our rose discussion, perhaps we should ready the saber and phantom device now?
Definitely. Let me put on a pot of coffee while we work.
I'll start by producing a swing and a laser. They'll need to be independently attached to the sword, but Lucky Frederick surrounded the fabricator with workbenches. There we go. The blade of Bastard apparently has a system of small weights which allow the user to shift the balance of the sword depending on their chosen target. However, it has to be attuned to the specific individual. And there we go. It will be lacking in its effectiveness, and you'll need to kill a number of different types of creatures to get a full data set.
I figure I'll hand this off to Annabelle. And what about the phantom device?
Already ahead. It combines the effect of steel boy with halogenic gas to cause targets to become confused. Perhaps focusing and targeting on completely different things. For a time.
A defensive device that can be used as a controlled substance. Keep it out of the hands of Wet Willie and Helga. Got it. I think I'll grab a bite to eat and some coffee while I still got some time.
Let's see. I've killed a ghoul, a mole rat, and a possum with this thing so far.
We could add a super mutant to that list before we have to settle down for the night.
It'd be too risky. We try and kill one and 5 others go looking for what made that noise.
How much further to this stealth camp of yours, or is it inside a dead super mutant in the middle of Huntersville?
You forget that I lived in Huntersville for a few years as a child. No, I built it behind a couple of police cars that I could use as cover. Spent nearly a week constructing it.
I think I spot them just up ahead. Is that your camp?
Yes, it's a bit small for 3 people, but it should be sufficient. We can light a small campfire for warmth. Anything that approaches from the town will be extremely noisy. Super mutants aren't known for their stealth.
Can also see some buildings on top of that cliff. Why not camp up there? It has a better vantage point.
It is frequently used by a group of super mutants. Not sure if they are from Huntersville or elsewhere, but if we needed to move in a hurry, it's only a couple of 100 yards up that switchback.
Okay, we are here. You were right about being small, but that makeshift wall and the police cars definitely make for good cover from the town anyway.
And I think I'm due for another dose of my extra special medicine made for me by Dr. Mesai. Even added some fruit flavoring.
I'm going to take a quick patrol, just up the road 100 yards or so. Want to make sure there are no super mutants patrolling this direction.
Alright, I guess I can review Maxie's notes on the rest of our hike. He made a few notes on avoiding other super mutant camps in the area.
At least I can count on Max to help the medicine go down.
Want a cigarette? I'm not going to finish this one. Just wanted a drag or two.
I'm fine, besides Maxie told me to lay off them for at least a few more days. Wear a preventive gas mask too, but I had to draw the line somewhere.
A couple of days did you some good. You know, it wasn't personal.
It was personal, but that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Maybe I'll figure that out eventually.
Whenever we reach the end of whatever we are doing, I am definitely going to take a few days, weeks, months maybe. I don't know.
We aren't always going to have such free time on our hands. This is just a lull in the storm. Things are going to get nasty quickly and right at the worst possible moment.
I know. I wish it wasn't, but this is the time for us to stop and smell the ash roses. Maybe find a few cracks, and...
To patch them,